Hello and welcome to our continuation of our KSP series. Here, in this episode, we will be returning our brave crew, Jebediah and Bob, who were among the first Kerbals who have came to the orbit of Duna, and we will be returning them back to Kerbin. Sadly, because of their lander not being properly equipped to be able to land on Duna, we only have the capability to get into the orbit, but they did. They came, they performed some valuable science, and they will be returning. There are other ships en route that will be performing the landing mission and onwards. However, in order for our brave two Kerbals to be able to return back home to Kerbin, we need to transfer them some resources because, well, clearly their life support needs some more oomph. So we are filling the life support containers and then we shall be sending them back. So, Jebediah, Bob, are you ready? Well, too late for backing up now. Alright, so the idea is, as we are here above Duna, we're gonna go and we're gonna be performing the transfer burn that has already been set up, which would hopefully return Jebediah and Bob to Kerbin. And that's supposed to be happening in roughly 3 minutes and 2 seconds, if my timer is correct. Bye bye, Ike, and we're gonna go do the burn. We go 10, 9, 8, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and burn. Off we go, leaving some debris in Duna orbit, but yeah, we're not exactly the environmentally or spacey friendly. Well, we'll have to work on that, clearly. So, there we go, ejecting ourselves out of Duna and hopefully on the trajectory that will be returning us back to Kerbin. There we go, slowly, easy does it, Tiger. Now let's just slowly adjust our returning orbit so that we make sure that we get a Kerbin encounter. A little bit, and there we go. Honestly, I'm not gonna press it much more. Looks close enough. We're gonna do a mid-course adjustment. By the way, guys, this series, as you know, there are multiple things going on at the same time. However, I'm trying to follow the story of each and one of them. This is the return. While that's going on, as you've probably seen the previous episode, we have successfully launched our big orbital station that will end up in the Duna orbit, and we have also launched the big Duna lander that will be performing the landing on Duna and much others. However, this little craft that has been going around Duna gathering some science, it is time for them to actually return, because I do like to return my kerbonauts. I don't like to have them stranded. I want them home as heroes who have been the first Kerbals to experience Duna. And of course they're gonna get some ribbons, yes. Right, so Kerbin periapsis, we're gonna drop it down with the mid-course correction. We're gonna drop it down to, I say, 50-ish, let's say 55-ish periapsis, so we don't cook our Kerbals, but they don't get, you know, destroyed either. So, okay, some minor mid-course corrections. The burn should be pretty small. I mean, it's 40 meters per second, well within our budget of 1,600. And I think it's time that we just, you know, take everything back and enjoy the view. Bye-bye, Duna, and thanks for the initial batch of science. We will explore you more once we get back. And bye, Ike. There we go. Beautiful. All right. And off goes Duna in the distance. Now it's all a matter of performing a basically return trajectory. I had some bug, I'm not sure, with the electricity constantly running out on high acceleration, although for some reason I had everything turned on and I mean everything looked fine, so I honestly don't know why my electricity was running out. However, if I didn't go to the max warp, electricity stayed put. Interestingly enough. Well, apparently you can find bugs in KSP 1 as well. not to mention the KSP2. I'm really wanting to play KSP2, but I wanted to get into a more playable state. I did check out the patch 1.4. It looks decent, it looks more playable, and it is getting there. My only beef with it is that it's taking so long to get there, but I understand, you know, KSP and physics, that's not a simple and trivial solutions to solve, regardless of how much I would like them to. But fortunately enough, we have KSP 1 until that gets solved, so yeah, let's enjoy just this return. And then in the next episode, I'm pretty sure I will be tracking the big station, going back to transferring to Duna, and that's just a huge interplanetary vessel that you saw a couple of episodes ago. For those of you that have just tuned into this series and it's the first time that you're seeing this, I'm gonna be putting links in this episode in the comments below to the entire playlist series, so you can still watch it from the start, or if you want, there will be a link to the previous, start episodes. Okay, so that thing being said, we are now burn 1 hour and 3 minutes away, so let's just accelerate time a little bit until we get to that burn, and we want to bring the periapsis, well, the yellow one, closer to Kerbin. And we have a budget of 40.7 meters per second to do it. We have... Sorry, not the budget. We have a burn of 44.7 seconds and a budget of 1600. So we have plenty of fuel to execute that burn and return our hero Kerbals as the heroes they're supposed to be. Right. Putting down the periapsis. A little closer, little closer. There we go. Almost there. Right. Okay, so with that being said, now let us kick the afterburners and let's get into the Kerbin sphere of influence. Like I said, there have been many intertwined stories going on same time. I figured it would be simpler and easier to just show them one at a time. This creates a nightmare for the editing, however, it makes for a more consistent story. Alright, here's our Kerbin, and we are gonna go towards it. So, returning back, long time no see. Hello Kerbin and Moon and Min somewhere. Yes, there is some science to be had, however, at this point, I couldn't care less. We're just gonna come closer and hopefully return safely back to Kerbin. I do hope that we will be able to safely land. I mean, we have plenty of Delta V, and we're gonna use it to be able to brake when we get to low Kerbin orbit, or when you get, well, not low Kerbin orbit, when you get to low on Kerbin. We're gonna use a semi-aero brake maneuver, so part will be the actual powered braking, and the rest will be the aero brake. So, or aero capture, yeah, I think that's the correct term. Sorry, been a little bit rusty. It's been a while since I posted KSP content, but apparently you guys wanted some KSP content and I couldn't agree more. I was making it anyway. So, there we go. Oh, I cannot fold in the solar panels. Well, never mind. Let's fold everything else. I mean, yeah, probably at the time of this episode when I was constructing this, I didn't have the foldable solar panels, so the solar panels were, you know, create once and then you're done. Okay, let's just fold the antenna back in. I really do love the hinges and robotic parts, they're just amazing. Okay, there we go. So let's do another... Oh, we have this antenna, hold on. Yeah, okay, let's deactivate you. I'm tempted to transmit all science, but I think it's a bigger payoff if you return it back. So that, which was one of the reasons why we were going there in the first place. Okay, photovoltaic panels I clearly cannot fold. Well, those will be lost on the re-entry. It's the cost of doing science. Alright. Fair enough. Now, let's return. I think these solar panels are actually Orion's panels, aren't they? Which means they should be able to fold somewhat degree, but I wasn't able to do that. So yeah, okay. We're coming closer to the atmosphere now. Still not there yet, but let me just quickly turn on the engines, and we're going really fast. We're going 3,200 meters per second, and if I'm able to shave off 1,000 of it, I would be happy, because that means we will be coming in not so hot. So although our heat shield is designed to withstand the rigors of the re-entry, why would it need to? If we can just burn our engines to slow down, well, we're gonna do it. Alright, so burning the engines, now we are already getting slowly into the thinner layers of the atmosphere. Oh, I was thinking to doing the EVA report. No, just the material study, thank you. You know. Alright, good. There we go. Experience media, remove module inoperable. I don't care, I'm just gonna go land anyway, so yeah. Jeb and Bob ready to go home? Yeah, look at this. We're gonna be returning. It's gonna be actually a very slow return. It's gonna be a return as if we were in orbit and still perform the deorbit burn. Orbital velocity is around 2100 if I'm not mistaken, and we have 400 meters per second to spare. So yeah, we're gonna fling ourselves even to the suborbital speed. So that's good. The only downside is that we will be landing in the dark, which, yeah, it's not ideal, but you gotta do what you gotta do. When you're coming in hot from this trajectory, well, you take what you can get. Alright, and soon enough our fuel will be depleted, leaving us with orbital velocity of 1820. Okay, let's decouple. Food, water depleted, and oxygen depleted. Well, technically we just need to survive the re-entry, so I mean, we don't need a lot of reserves. Maybe I should have transferred some into the capsule. Noted. Oh look, and the dawn is breaking through the cloud layer. Oh, that's just gorgeous. Yeah, okay, there's the fiery demise of our transport return vessel. There we go, and slowly but surely everything is fine. Good. Just performing some last minute science while we are plunging down from 11 kilometers of altitude above the seawater, and I think we are just above the water, because it's hard for me to tell, there's no lights, but the biome says water, so hopefully we're good. I did accelerate this 4 times because I figured you don't want to watch another 15 minutes of me plunging through the atmosphere. I mean, it doesn't make for a compelling gameplay, now does it? Alright, so there we go. Jettisoning the heat shield for the last 300 meters, and we're gonna do a nice soft splashdown, returning Jebediah and Bob safely back. Oh, we can do, you know, temperature scan, gravity scan. Don't mind if I do some additional science. Okay. EVA report. Nah, I'm gonna just let it be. Okay. Now, let's recover the vessel. Normal recovery. And let's see how much science did we manage to accumulate. Alright. A total of 417 science, which brings us to a grand total of 590. That's beautiful. Okay, plenty of studies in the space near Duna. Alright, and some from Kerbin. So, Jeb and Bob, let's see, how did you do, guys, in terms of our endurance ribbon, research, since Ike's sphere of influence, first Duna ribbons, plenty of ribbons, beautiful. So, especially with Duna and Ike. But, guys, that brings us to the end of this episode. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.